Hello and good morning. So, welcome to another Fife Property market update. This is for last week's figures. So, this is for week commencing the 10th to the 16th of August. So, we are well into the month. Can you believe it? It's going by so quick. And this is where we take a look at everything that was happening last week on Rightmove with all agencies. So, we look at newly instructed and also what's now showing sold, subject to concluded missives. We'll then take a run through of what we in particular have as an agency have been doing. So what we sold, what's coming soon, which I know everybody's keen to hear about, and then also what is completed so you can see what offers were negotiated. Then we'll finish up with a run through of the shows that have taken place, just so you can go back and see what you would like to rewatch. So we will start with last week's figures. So we will pull the statistics up and hopefully you can see them on the screen. There we go. So it gives you an insight then. So there was 119 properties instructed versus 137 properties sold. And actually that's quite a difference from what we have been seeing. Now, what I was saying last week's show is if you're wanting to get a better idea, because we always do say 1 week doesn't make a trend, what to do is we did at the beginning of August, I did the July run through. So I looked at the whole month of July statistics, and that does give you a slightly better idea because at least it's a month's worth of sales and figures pulled together. Last week, the numbers were very, very similar. Actually, this week, there is a wee bit of a difference in there with actually only 119 properties coming to market. But it's still great to see that 137 properties have sold. And we'll obviously look at the different areas to see where properties are selling. Now, 12 properties instructed in Cooper, slightly higher than their average. Now, they did have 1 week as well where it was a really high number over the 20s. So it's like it comes in swings and roundabouts. It levels out, and then all of a sudden you get this real boom. Potentially people putting and going live for kind of the last week of the summer holidays. Obviously, kids are back to school within Scotland anyway. So potentially that could have a knock-on effect and obviously contribute to the numbers. And 5 properties showing a sold, so they have had offers accepted on them. Then you've got East Snook, 5 versus 7. Kind of average numbers for East Snook, nothing too high, nothing too low, but that is kind of average. But it is great to see that we're continuing to get sales throughout the East Snook. Obviously, there has been some contributing factors in terms of the additional dwelling tax, second home council tax, all these different things coming into place did have a knock-on effect in terms of like your East Snook and your St Andrews. So it's still great to see that 7 properties sold and are now under offer in your KY10 postcode. And then St Andrews, 7 versus 8. So that is slightly lower numbers than we have been seeing. But again, it's still great that St Andrews have got 8 people that have made offers and had their offers accepted, because there is a lot of stock sitting within St Andrews. We're kind of saying at the minute average selling time is anything from 5 to 6 months. So you do need to have patience along with an agent that knows their area, knows the market, can market your property and make it stand out from the crowd. They're really aggressive, proactive, has the reach, has the marketing strategy, isn't just crossing their fingers and hoping for the best and putting it on Rightmove. They're doing something to make your property stand out while having it priced accordingly. But there is an element of patience there as well. If you want to discuss that in more detail, either put it in the comments, message us privately, or even pick up the phone and speak with the office. We're more than happy to help with you. But we have had some great results recently within the KY16 postcode. So do reach out if you want to discuss that in more detail. Levermouth, 11 versus 14. It's a strong market and it will continue to be. We are well over a year now since the investment was put into the area, and obviously that has created commuting links via Leven and Cameron Bridge, and we're still seeing that positive impact on the KY8 postcode. And we as an agency have had some absolutely brilliant results, some really quick sales sold from social media, sold within a couple of days, sold within a week. There has been some brilliant results, and again, we're more than happy to discuss that with you. And some of these actually, so some of those 14 that have sold last week, again, we contributed. And actually, if you're a regular to these shows, last week we sold all in the KY8 area, and we contributed to a big number of those properties that have sold. So we're continuing to see great results in the KY8 postcode. Dunfermline, 46 versus 56. Dunfermline is always slightly out compared to the other micro regions in terms of the numbers are always going to be higher, purely because of location, the proximity to the bigger cities, and the options that creates for people that can get a lot more property for a lot less money, a completely different lifestyle, and commute over to the bigger cities when required. So that's why naturally people gravitate towards Dunfermline. Glenrothes 15 versus 12. That is actually slightly lower than what we tend to see in Glenrothes. But as we say, 1 week doesn't make a trend. And then finally, you've got Kirkcaldy with 23 instructed versus 35 sold. Again, 23 is slightly less than what we have been seeing in Kirkcaldy. There have been some really high numbers in the kind of 30s. But it's great to see that 35 properties have sold, getting through the stock, because there is a lot of stock continuously hitting Kirkcaldy, but it shows that the market can take it. It is absolutely selling through and going through, which is great to see. But again, a bit like Dunfermline, people naturally gravitate towards the Glenrothes and Kirkcaldy because of everything being on your doorstep. You've got commuting links, you've got amenities, you've got leisure facilities, you've got schooling. But what's great is the affordability within these areas. There's a lot of areas where you can get a lot of property for your money. So they do tend to be really popular with your first-time buyers, investors, landlords, families looking to upsize. So again, naturally, that they are areas that people gravitate towards. But that is your figures for last week. So that's all agencies that advertise on Rightmove. Now that is your core stock only. So that is only the resale homes. It's not taking into account new builds, because it's then not a true like-for-like comparison. However, something that makes this slightly different is actually, where is it? The number of new builds that hit the market in the KY1 postcode. So in the Kirkcaldy area, there were 16 new builds newly put to market just last week alone, which is a massive increase. Normally it gravitates around like 1, 2, potentially 3, but actually 16, and trust me, this has been double checked and triple checked. 16 new builds were made available in the Kirkcaldy area last week alone. So then we might see when we pull the figures for this week, that maybe has an impact. So we'll obviously look out for that. And then only one in the Dunfermline area, and no others in the other micro regions. But 16 in Kirkcaldy is high. But that is your figures for last week. So we will then take a look at actually what we were doing in terms of ourselves, so our own agency. So this is where we pull through the sold properties, completed, and coming soons, of course. So we'll start with the sold properties and some amazing results, some quick results as well. So let me just pull that up for you. 2 seconds. So the first one, and what is great to see actually, is this was actually previously on with another agent, and they moved over to ourselves actually after a recommendation. They were recommended to try ourselves, moved over from another agent, and they got a brilliant result, and it was sold within 3 weeks. So obviously they are absolutely delighted. So let me just pull it up for you. Should be able to see it on the screen. There we go. So this is Priestfield Maltings in Pitlessie. As I say, it was on with a previous agent. So they're delighted. They moved over to ourselves, and between our marketing and negotiations, doing the viewings, we were able to get them a result within 3 weeks. So they are delighted because it means the sellers can now move on in their journey. Likewise, the buyers have secured something, and I know the buyer of this is absolutely delighted. We actually have an on-call service, and they actually called on call over the weekend, made an offer, we started negotiations, and were able to get it wrapped up. So it was in a great time frame, and it was accessible for the buyer that they're able to call us at a weekend, and negotiations started, so we're able to get this one over the line. So both parties are absolutely delighted, because actually the buyer of this property is getting out of rented and getting onto the property market. So they are absolutely over the moon. Plus, it is a fantastic 2-bedroom, spacious ground floor flat. It's got your own private garden as well. That is an absolute sun trap, because it's about southeast facing. Plenty of parking, and Pitlessie is a lovely village. So both parties are absolutely delighted, and this was on the market for offers over 125,000. Next one was heading along to the East Snook. This was, again, a great result to get over the line, because it means the seller can get moved on in their journey. Likewise, the buyer is delighted to have secured this property and moved to the area. Now, it just shows you as well, and you'll see this as we're going through, that we're selling in different areas, different price points, different style of properties. So if you do have something you're looking to sell, and you want to, 1, know your valuation, and 2, what marketing is required to get your property sold, reach out to us. But this one in particular was a 2-bedroom semi-detached property, had really spacious living. You wouldn't believe the size of the open plan kitchen dining space. You could potentially further develop if you wish. There was actually plans that you could extend out the back. You could even see that you could extend out from the side as well. And it had a massive garden at the back that meant you could extend and still have plenty of outdoor space. You can see driveway, garage. it was just beautiful, and it had a feature log burner in the living room. It was just amazing. And what was great is the location of this property. You literally walk out your front door, take a left, and you are straight to the West Braes. So you are right on the Fife Coastal Path, the beach, the harbour. Fantastic location. Now, this was on for offers over 240,000. Now, with these, obviously, we can't disclose what they went for, because they are going through that conveyancing process. It just means you need to keep a lookout on the show and continue to watch, and then that way you'll be able to see the offers that were negotiated on them. Next one, and this was Foreman Road in Leven, sold in 1 week. And I was just saying to you about the KY area and how successful we've been, and this just shows sold in 1 week. Absolutely incredible result. This was on the market for offers over 325,000. Now, it's a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, immaculately presented, finished to such a good standard. You can see the garden. That garden just speaks for itself, and that gives you an indication of just how beautifully presented this property was. And south-facing garden as well, massive bonus. Detached double garage, driveway, gated, garage. It was just ticking all the boxes, and this was a really popular one. People did miss out on this home. The new owner is delighted to move even closer to the beach to enjoy the walks. Sellers are delighted because they can move on with their journey. We've got them a buyer and secured a buyer within a week, but that does mean that there was people that missed out. We had multiple viewings at these properties, negotiating offers. So it does mean that people did miss out on this. So my point is, if you have a property similar to this, a 3-bedroom detached bungalow, because we know bungalows are like hen's teeth and they're really sought after. If you have something like that, please do reach out to us, because we have hot buyers on the market that have just missed out on this home that we know are actively looking to move. So if you're thinking of selling, or you are selling, please do reach out to us. We can get you your accurate value, discuss next steps, and get you on the market. So that was a brilliant result. Next one, again, we are keeping it obviously within the KY area, and it's great to see another result sold in 2 days. What more could you ask for? We've had sold in a week, sold in 2 days. We've had some brilliant results. So this was Pitcurvey Park in London Links. It's a 2-bedroom end terrace property, moving condition, countryside views, sought after location. Of course, it's London Links. Where else would you want to be? It's a quiet cul-de-sac. So the new owner is absolutely delighted to be moving into the area. Likewise, the seller is delighted because they're able to move on with their next steps, and we've really helped them with that. And especially securing them a buyer in 2 days, which is just incredible. But again, just like the last one, because it was snapped up so quickly, there was people that missed out on it. There was, again, multiple viewings and people that missed out. So again, if you have a property similar footprint to this, now this was on for offers over 175, but if you have a property similar to this and you're thinking of selling, or you actively are looking to sell, again, please do reach out. We can get Perry out to you. We can give you your accurate valuation, discuss next steps, so that we can get you a result just like this, because again, we do have active buyers. And then finally, again, keeping it in with the KYA area, you've got Windygates Road in Leven. If you are local, you will know exactly where this is situated. You'll see the board and you'll see it sitting there. It's a 2-bedroom, 3-reception, 2-bathroom detached bungalow. And straight away, you can see from the curb appeal of this property just how well presented it is. Off-street parking, garage, storeroom, workshop area. It really was a fantastic property. As I say, beautifully presented. Ideal location, absolutely perfect. So the new owner is delighted to be moving to the area. Likewise, the seller is delighted that, again, we've been able to help them and get them a result and get them a buyer secured within a month. So some fantastic results recently. And if you watched last week's show, you'll know this was the exact same as well. So we've had some really brilliant results in the area. If you want to discuss that in more detail, as I say, put something in the comments. Even if you're watching this as the rerun and you're not able to watch this live, put something in the comments. We'll still come back to you. If you prefer to message us privately, please do so. Or you can pick up the phone and have a chat with one of the agents. But that is the solds. Next is the coming soons. So this is properties that we have been out to value and are going to be coming to market with ourselves. So this is where you need to look out for the pre-portals on our social media pages. Now, if you're watching this and you're not too sure what a pre-portal is, it's a complete preview. It's a video walkthrough of a property before it goes on your Rightmove, your Zoopla, your S1 Homes, etc. it's your opportunity to get in there before anybody else. So wherever you're looking to purchase a property is where you need to follow the relevant pages. So for example, if you're looking in the KY8 area, follow the Levenmouth page. If you're looking in the East Neuk, the East Neuk page. We have a page for each micro region. Make sure you're following it. You need to then be watching that. You need to be looking for the words pre-portal in the agent's face. And if it's a property, in the description that sounds like something you're looking for, watch the full video walkthrough. We start outside the front, we take you on the tour right through, showing you all the little details. We then discuss location, and then at the very end, and it's crucial you listen to the very end, we tell you the price point that the property is planning to come to market at. If it then ticks your boxes, reach out to us. You need to act fast when you see a pre-portal, because you only have 4 or 5 days to get in there before anybody else. Now, to get in there before anybody else, there is 2 criteria. First one being you are a cash buyer with cash in the bank ready to make an offer, because you're getting to get in there before anybody else. So you need to be in that strong position, and that's who we're looking for at this stage. Then you can make our seller an offer that they just cannot refuse. So it needs to be an attractive, your no regrets offer. What does that home mean to you, and what are you willing to put down to secure it? That is the 2 criteria. Now, if you're watching this or you're watching pre-portals and you perhaps don't fit into that criteria, reach out to us. We can guide you through the process and help you with those next steps to get you in the best position as possible. But that is a pre-portal. So if it does tick your boxes, you follow that criteria, reach out to us, pick up the phone, and we can get you a viewing, and we can potentially get you that property secured before it goes to the wider market. But this is a brief run through. So this is where you actually get to find out about them before they even get at pre-portal stage. So first one being methyl bray in methyl. We know this is going to be a popular one. Anything within that area around this price point gets snapped up like that. It's a 2-bedroom ground floor flat, and they get snapped up because of the price point, because of location, investors, landlord, first-time buyers. They really do appeal to a lot of the market. So we know that one's going to get snapped up. So keep a lookout for Perry's pre-portal. The next one is Tower Well, High Street in Newborough. Again, this is a 2-bedroom flat, but this is actually a first floor. Newborough, again, it's a great location in terms of you've got everything within Newborough. You've got all of your amenities, cafes, bakers, you've got the large co-op, you've got schooling, but it's great for commuting. You're straight along, and you can be on the M90 for getting to Perth, Dundee, Edinburgh and beyond. So Newborough is a great location, and again, we know it's going to get snapped up because of the style of property and who it appeals to. So keep a lookout, and it's Richard that's going to be doing the pre-portal for that one. So keep a lookout for that one on our Cooper page. Next one, actually, this went live yesterday. This is on our Cooper page yesterday afternoon, and it's Monimail Letham. Absolutely stunning cottage. So if you are looking for rural lifestyle, it is rural. However, the community feel and actually what the community does is incredible. So if you're looking for that lifestyle, but wanting a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, semi-detached cottage, then you need to go and look at the Cooper page for yesterday and watch the full video walkthrough, and you'll see exactly why you need that home. It's just beautiful. It's substantial plot, driveway, garage. It's got log burners in multiple rooms. It's got a freestanding bath. It's lovely, spacious and bright. Not a thing you need to do to it. It's just fantastic. So definitely go and look at that one if you're looking for that rural lifestyle. Another one that actually went on yesterday was in Lomond Crescent in Falkland. So this is a 3-bedroom semi-detached property. There's a lot of property on offer here. You're getting gardens to the front, driveway, garage, private garden to the rear that has incredible East Lomond views. So you are literally looking onto East Lomond Hills. You back onto the school grounds, and then it's big living room space, 2 bathrooms. So you've got a bathroom on the lower level, an ensuite in your master bedroom, and the master bedroom's massive. You've then got a breakfasting kitchen and porch area, and then 3 bedrooms upstairs. So you're getting a lot of property on a great plot, and actually you could further extend the property if you wish. Now, the property is a great opportunity to secure a family home and put your own stamp on it. It is being sold as seen, and it does require works. However, you know that you are adding instant value to this home while being able to just put your own stamp on it and truly make it your own. So that pre-portal went on yesterday, and that was Lomond Crescent in Falkland. So if that sounds like something you're looking for, again, if you're looking for that village lifestyle and an idyllic lifestyle, but needing a family home, then that is definitely the one to go and look at. So that is what we've got coming soon. completed then. So this is properties that had offers accepted. They've now gone through that conveyancing stage, and we are now at the point that it's all been moved in, so we can disclose what offers were accepted on them. So the first one was March Road in Anstruther. So this one was a 2-bedroom, 2-reception, spacious, semi-detached villa on a generous plot. You were getting so much driveway to the front, garage, and then an absolute sun trap of a garden at the rear. It was great as well because the living room was massive, but actually you then went through and there was a whole nother reception space, and it had a great feel. So it had a log burner. It was just fantastic. The bedrooms upstairs were a great size, so it was absolutely fabulous. And this one, we actually got 10,000 over the home report value. So a brilliant result. It sold for 225,000. So they got 10,000 over home report, and we're absolutely delighted. The sellers then moved on and purchased one of our properties, so we're able to keep the chain nice and easy and keep it ticking over. Likewise, the family that have moved into it are upsizing. Then the next one was Pickford Crescent in Celadike. Now, this was a very, very popular home. So this one did get snapped up. So it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, semi-detached, extended family home. Modern interiors, beautifully presented. The kitchen, dining, living space is absolutely incredible. Really high standard kitchen. It's got vaulted ceiling, Velux windows, big bifold doors. It is absolutely beautiful. I am over the moon for the new owners that have secured it, because I know they were absolutely obsessed with the home. Likewise, the sellers are delighted because they were able to move on, and we were able to again help them with that process. Now this, as I say, was a popular one. It sold for 15,000 over the home report value. It sold for 325. So the family are looking forward to moving in. Likewise, the family were looking forward to move out and get on with their next steps. It was great to see that full big picture, and everybody happy. So it was fantastic. So that is what we completed on. Now, the March Crescent one, for example, if that was something you missed out on, we have just put another one live on March Crescent. So do go and take a look on our websites for that one, because there is another one available on March Crescent. So do keep a lookout. But with both of those, and actually all the properties I've spoke about, people did miss out. So if you are thinking about selling or looking at selling, please do reach out to us, because we do have people already on our database that are looking for their next home, and it could be yours. Finally, we'll take a run through of the shows that were done. So, of course, you'd have had the Wealth Creation Show yesterday. So that's always live 12:30 on a Monday, and it is with Richard Cook, the Lettings Director, and Jim Parker, one of the UK's most successful property investors. And they do a show every Monday. And actually, yesterday's was about consequences of contentment, and contentment, a state of satisfaction and peace with one's current situation, genuinely has a positive consequences, fostering well-being and contributing to healthy relationships. However, excessive or misplaced contact, and a healthy desire for growth and improvement, it can hinder potentially personal growth and ambition also. And it's important to find that balance between contentment and a healthy desire for growth and that improvement, because with the contentment, it is beneficial. It shouldn't come at a cost of your personal development and ambition. So if you want to cultivate a sense of contentment while also striving for that personal growth, you can then potentially lead to a more fulfilling and balanced life. So if that sounds something that would interest you, obviously that was live yesterday, but you can go back and watch the rerun. It's on all of our channels, so you can go back and rewatch it. And likewise, if there's any questions that you have for either of them, just put them in the comments and they will come back to you. Another show that was taking place then was a show that Perry and I did, and it was about semi-detached properties and how their houses have risen by 108% in 20 years. So that is a great one to go back and watch. And then finally, I believe there was another show that was done, and it's actually a rental one. So this will be a great one if you're a landlord or you're potentially looking to start your own portfolio, and it's about luxury lettings, and turn a regular rental into a chic high earner. So this is where you have, again, Richard Cook, the Lettings Director, and Karen Marshall, the Lettings Agent, on hand discussing, and actually, is your rental property truly reaching its full income potential? Because ultimately that's what you're doing it for. Or could it be more profitable? Discerning renters are looking for a sophisticated home lifestyle, on just bricks and mortar, somewhere that reflects their success with pure comfort and style. So that is a great one. You can obviously watch that. They'll give you some brilliant insights, some tips. And also, if you watch that and then you actually have any of your own tips or questions or anything like that, again, you can put it in the comments, and they will come back to you. Or again, you can pick up the phone and speak with any of the people in the lettings department. But that is us for another market update. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, message us privately. But I will see you all next week again, live on Tuesday at 10 o'clock to do another market update. All the best. Take care.